Roll for initiative because we are live.
Natural 14.
I rolled a bunch of this.
Oh,
Forgetting to action.
Can you?
13.
Just
I've got to get it out. I have to get it out.
like you couldn't let me do a countdown.
It's plugged up.
All right, welcome to Windfall, everyone, where I no longer get to do a regular countdown to going live. We have to deal with this every week.
Yeah, Studio's got a weird energy.
It's a weird
Chad,
energy.
do you want to hear Soda Kim's laugh?
I will end this fucking stream. I will delete this channel and I will kill your character.
You're gonna do that anyway.
Delete the channel.
You suck.
Delete the channel.
Welcome back, y'all. I'm very excited to be here on the hot off the heels of last week, which was such a really fun and incredible episode. I really enjoyed it, and I thank everyone for being here. And I'm really excited for this week as well. So first and foremost, I would like to thank Californians for composing our theme song because it's real good, and I will never stop loving it. It's amazing. Just a quick announcement: there will be no Windfall next week. 1 week from today, on July 30th, there will be no Windfall.
So just keep up with the Windfall ARG.
No.
The ARG, where you go to YouTube and watch our VODs. Mitchum, say the thing.
Feel free to like and subscribe.
Comment. Don't forget comment.
Yes, comment for the algorithm. I'm just using all the buzzwords that I know from YouTube.
Algorithm. Just say algorithm a bunch and we'll get algorithm. Algorithm.
That's going to be my next character.
Trending.
Algorithm.
Trending. But no, there won't be any Windfall next week. Anything else? Anything else to put out there into the universe before we get started?
Why is Windfall canceled?
Huh?
Nothing.
Why is Windfall canceled?
Yeah. Do you tell chat?
Huh?
Do you want to tell chat
Tell chat what?
why Windfall's canceled?
Because we're having a party for my birthday?
Yeah. You're not streaming that?
No.
Oh. Sorry, Chad. He doesn't like you guys.
All right.
But if you want to give our DM a birthday present, just tell 10 friends to subscribe to the
Shut the
channel.
fuck up.
And then they'll tell 10 friends.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And we are officially now at Pyramid Scream, and I hate everything. You guys are no longer allowed to talk unless you're role-playing. All right.
I'm always role-playing.
Oh my god.
I don't know who the real
It's
me
a
is
functional
anymore.
human being, probably. I'm not going to be nice to you guys this episode anymore. I've changed my mind.
Okay.
What did I
He
do?
never was.
On our last episode of Windfall, Sins and Retributions. The party, after defeating Uthrog, the Avatar of Fury, discovered that there was a second half to the star fragment which empowered him, hidden somewhere on the island. They, along with the first mate, the Smith, follow the trail of his rampage through the dense forest. During their expedition, they discovered a grove with a sentient bush, a dreamberry bush named Larry, who traded healing berries in exchange for small trinkets and coins. After some negotiation, another person entered the encampment, a half-dwarf woman with a beautiful face and rippling muscles. She introduced herself as Millie Swales, and explained that she had been trying to recover something precious that was an area guarded by the Avatar. After some pressing, it was revealed that Millie trapped her younger sister's soul within a ring in order to stop her from being completely destroyed by Uthrog. The party made a deal, and with Millie in tow, they went to explore the ruins where Uthrog previously made his home. The ruins were infested with nightmares and shadows of rage, projections of the dreams and desires of Uthrog, and they battled the manifestations of his fury. The party found themselves also using their memories to try and win a contest of wills with the star fragment. It was Brooks who eventually overcame the fury within the stone and subjugated it to his own, molding the dream within to his own dream. After Cordelia found the ring containing Millie's sister, she gave it to Swales, who bid the party a fond farewell. Kai stopped Swales, asking her to parley, but Swales ran. Kai felled her with a single shot from his Jezzail. He revealed then that Swales was a code breaker, one who broke the rules of parley and murdered another ship's company under those rules of protection. This led to a long moral debate in which all parties left dissatisfied. Back on the Windfall, Cordelia had a breakthrough and realized that she could remove the star fragments from the tortoises without killing them. Doing so would change them ordinary, and Cordelia had a moment of introspection, wondering if such a thing would be a violation of their autonomy. She used her familiar Imerus to communicate with the tortoises, and received only one cryptic answer. We wish to be among the stars.
Cryptic.
What?
It is very cryptic.
With a heavy heart, she resigned to not change their form. Brooks took the star fragment and, along with the smith, explored the possibility of what it could do. Investing himself within it, he was sent far, his will was sent far into the past, into a place before Asteria, before the gods, before the very sun. That's where we're going to head and begin today.
What could it mean?
Brooks, your vision flashes gold, spinning through dust, through water, through sand and stone. You see a ceaseless barrage of stars, opalescent against a wine-dark sky. Your mind goes hurling through them like burning shards of rain. They pass over, under, through you, cascading in a cavalcade of chromatic showers. Your mind is pulled through the vastness of time and space and possibility, and hurled at light speed through the realm of truth. The black and light begin to blur into an impossible brightness that threatens to consume you until you open your eyes. There is no more light. Instead, only a struggling twilight. Inky blacks, blues, and deep purple swirl in the sky above you, dotted with distant stars. Underneath you, a warm stretch of blankets, atop a firm and scattered white sand. There are leaning trees, tall and sparsely covered with leaves, hanging over, and a large pool of water with scattered grasses surrounding it. Usem! A tall, bearded man sits leaning on one arm in front of you. He has olive skin, dark, red eyes, and dark eyeliner. His beard is adorned with a gold rope, twisting it into a sharp point. He smiles and waves his hand, and a goblet materializes out of thin air. And then a bottle of wine picks itself up from a nearby basket and pours itself into the glass. He offers the goblet to you. Where is your head? Are you still worried? Is it the dream again?
It is. He's like sort of picking at the fruit in a tray between them. The vision that I have spoken to you about, it weighs heavily on my mind. I've spoken to you about all of my visions before, but this one seems different. You know I can't bring it to the other viziers. You know what they say.
I know how they are, and I know how you are. Their worry is mostly with the elves. The disease, it seems, is not contained to their ilk. So we have fortified defenses around the area. But you always have your head elsewhere. Not the immediate problem in front of us. Always some impending doom.
Well, it's not always doom and gloom, but if there is danger, wouldn't you want to know? Wouldn't they want to know? I feel like every time I bring something up, they... Oh, Usamor, we greatly respect your visions, of course, but our power and the guidance of Rosh Nakar, there is no danger. Do not worry your pretty head, Usamor. I understand my power isn't as great as yours or the vizier's, but being dismissed so... It puts a toll on me.
I want you to stop. I want you to do, first, one thing. Drink a little bit more of the wine. Second, you have to stop separating yourself and the viziers. You are among us. You have earned that title. I know it was a long and it was a very hard journey, but you are here, Usem. You are here forever.
I'm sorry, I'm speaking too much of myself. Akraten, my friend, how are your experiments going? I know you've been working hard.
He takes a hand and he, grips it around yours, and he takes a piece of fruit from the basket and kind of chews on a little bit. It's so funny. There's so much that we concern ourselves with, yet so few of us look within. And he, takes his hand, and you can see it's been bandaged up recently. He unbandages it, and you can see the blood in his hand begin to swirl. So many are blind to what we have within. And he closes his hand, and your vision fades to gold once more, like a bright light. And suddenly, you and Akraten walk once more down the city streets. Your calm steps, purposeful steps, do not match the fervor of the city, now more alight than ever you've seen, not just with the lights and torches and magic globes which litter the city, every single citizen, mage, and vizier out in the streets running to see, but the sky itself is different than you've ever seen it. Instead of dark and swirling, it's blue. A strange phenomena, and a strange heat emits from the heart of the square. Akraten's hand reaches out to kind of find yours in the crowd. I hope you have an I told you so speech ready, Usem.
No.
If this is what you've been seeing, I don't know if we're ready.
We should meet with the other viziers. See what they have to say.
I don't think they have much to say. He points, and you can see sort of the center has been pushed out. You can see war mages and guards pushing back the rabble, and you see the other viziers lined up in a moon shape around this figure. Large, gangly, black-gray, ash-gray arms huddling over where a head would be. This long, emaciated body holding together this star collapsing upon itself. You can see the red and white as the light struggles to escape the singularity that is pulsing together. You can see the hands barely containing as the light escapes it, shining up and making the sky blue. The creature holds its head together and shakes as if in immense pain. And you see the other viziers walk up to it. And there's excitement in their eyes. And there is purpose on their lips. And Akraten turns towards you. Usem, my friend, this is going to change everything. And your vision goes gold once more. You are on a scattered hillside, rocky. You see goats fleeing quickly before you. The wind, a stronger gale than you've ever seen in your life. The trees bending, sheets of rain coming down. You see a young blonde-haired woman with pale skin grabbing at your hand, stumbling on the rocks, and you struggle to help her up. Matthias, what is going on? What's happening here?
I don't know.
and you watch as you see a mountain in the distance rising out of the ocean, huge waves crashing across the rocks, lightning cracking in the sky, and the sky itself seeming to tear open as you hear a thunderous voice screaming on the mountain. Your vision goes gold once more. Now the sky is dark again, but this time it's the cover of clouds. You smell ash. You smell sulfur. You smell brimstone. You look at the bright heat. Magma bubbling up in hot spires beneath you. Another reaches up his hand, his skin charred, reaching up. Thomas, I don't understand.
There's not much to understand. And a hood comes over the head, and the figure walks away.
Thomas! And the vision goes to gold once more. You are in the Stormlands in southern Arla. You see sheep grazing in a golden hill. There's a calm on the wind, the chill before a storm. Brooks! Brooks! Come back inside.
Brooks wipes some sweat off of his brow and heads to the cottage.
What's wrong with you? You look like you've seen a ghost.
I'm just tired is all.
Alright. Come lay down. Get a little drink of water. There's still a little bit more to do before this storm hits. Ever since you got back, you've been acting strange.
You see a lot of stuff out there.
You know better than I would. Come on, I'm not here to pester you. Let's just get it done. The vision goes gold once again. And Brooks, you open your eye, and you're holding out in front of the star piece. And in front of you, like the gold fleck of your eye, about the size of an acorn, is a little golden orb of light in between your hands. The smith looks at you. A soul seed. Whatever you did, it must have been successful.
I saw what I was looking for. But I wish I hadn't.
Whatever it is, I'm not going to pry. You look upset. At the very least, it didn't manifest as a nightmare. Where Uthrog, his ambition led this hate from this thing, you were able to subjugate it to something more. That soul seed you're holding is very powerful. It's a piece of you made real. Clasp it to your breast or put it on a weapon or armor, but wherever you do, guard it. It's as much a piece of you as your very soul. Keep it close, nurture it. I think you'll like what you find.
He said we can get out of here tonight.
I'm just waiting on confirmation from Cordelia. She said she had something she wanted to try.
I am suddenly feeling pretty ill. I'm gonna go lie down.
Sure.
They're just kind of like floating in my hands.
It's literally floating in your hands. It's like floating above your hands right now. The little soul seed is just glowing right here. And it's right there. And you can feel the warmth radiating from it. And in it, like, almost like the reflections of that light, you can see how it's like glowing with like this amber golden glow. you can literally see visions, those visions you just saw, happening within it. Like a movie playing, just like glimpses here and there. You know that you need to take care of this sooner rather than later, because the thing's gonna be hard to protect out in the open.
I'm just gonna like close a hand around it just to hold on to it.
Yeah, not like put it in you, but
Yeah.
you're like holding it like
Yeah.
like a firefly,
I'm
essentially.
going to,
Very carefully walking out with it.
yeah, I'm gonna go to probably the medical bay area.
Okay, so the giant clamshell,
I mean, is it just that? Like,
essentially.
okay.
Yeah.
And the one good cop.
Well, there
We
is
got the medical cot.
the medical cot, the medical clamshell. You do see Asalee, the attendant, the dark-skinned one with the rainbow robes and the heavy cataracts that introduced you to the arena itself. She is there on your ship. Hello,
Hi.
I'm acting as your ship surgeon now.
Oh, wonderful. Could you excuse me for just a moment?
Of course. And she just kind of like steps outside of the room.
I'm
Gives
gonna
you some
sit on
space.
the clamshell. He's kind of just like clutching his head, and then he pulls out the seed.
Soul seed,
Soul
yes.
seed. He's gonna hold it to his face, sort of like regarding the images swirling within.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to say, I need to see. He's going to put it into one of his eyes.
It flashes gold again, and you see all of those visions played out in their entirety. You watch Thomas, you watch Matthias, you watch Usemor, you watch Brooks, and it flashes before you years and years and years and years in a millisecond. And there's more clear to you now than has been in a long time. As you get up and you splash your face with some water because you feel like you just had the world's worst hangover, you see your reflection in the clamshell. Your eyes are now completely gold in the irises. Like when you cast your spells, but now completely, permanently.
He's gonna clutch his head still and just go to his room and fall on his bed.
Okay. And you collapse.
And
Everyone
fall
else
asleep.
that night.
I did have one thing I wanted to do when everyone was asleep.
Okay. We're not quite there yet, so.
I'm asleep.
Yeah.
I've done enough.
If no one has anything, I'm going to just keep moving ahead.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of last session, I wrote the messages on the sheet of paper. but
Yes,
that was,
correct.
That was it.
All right.
That's all I did
Yeah,
before.
I'll,
Ernie. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'll go let the smith know. I spoke with them. Well, Imris did. We're good to go. They want to be amongst the stars. And who am I to deny that?
This could not have been easy for you.
Well, at least they had a choice. As much as I could give them one.
It may comfort you to know that it won't be death in the way that this realm experiences death. Just it'll be more of like a dream now. So maybe when you sleep, you'll see them again.
Maybe. It'd be nice to have a dream for once.
Go get some rest, Cordelia.
When do you think things will be ready? In the morning, I might be able to do something that would offer us some cover from prying eyes.
If you wish. We're going to pull a little bit to the northeast of the island. There's some mist coming in. We'll have some natural cover. I plan to be finished within 6 hours of the moment you step out of this room.
I should be ready by then.
He nods. Mr. Darrow finds you, Ernie. Are you in your workshop?
Yeah, I'm not asleep yet.
Quartermaster,
Come in.
I come bearing an invitation from the captain. He immediately requests an audience with you in his cabin.
Melicato?
The captain, yes.
Did he sound mad?
No, sir. He sounded... This is going to sound strange. He sounded very sad.
Maybe he bonded with them turtles while we were off the ship.
Either that or he's lost a great deal of money, sir. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, that's that's way more likely. Okay. Yeah, I'll go see him. I'll go right now.
Aye, sir. And he steps off. And you go...
I pull the sheet of paper after I stuffed it underneath my pillow and put it back where it goes, and
Okay.
I get up and... Alright, walk over to the captain's cabin.
Come in, Ernie. Come in. You see a vexed Melicato. He's still wearing all of his jewelry. He has no shirt, so you can see his like massive upper body, the scaly sort of like cartilage that's hardened all over his skin that almost looks like scales, but in like scattered different portions, little hard like little flecks of like calcified, almost like chitin, all over him. Some of it coming up in like little spikes, some of them like little orbs all over his body, sparsely across. And so immensely blue. His third eye is fully, or his eyes open fully on his head, and he just like immediately like turns and hands you a glass of whiskey.
I take it. I down it.
He downs it, and then he immediately pours you another one.
Did you get some bad news?
On the contrary, I got some fantastic news.
Okay. It's just that you're drinking and your shirt's off. So that's really, I guess that's either real good or real bad.
Your planet, Ernest, is unbearably hot. It's so hot here.
Okay. I thought you were about to say it's about to explode.
He like looks at his glass and in a way that like makes you think that maybe you didn't just say something that was completely off base. He drinks another thing of whiskey.
Yeah, it's warm, especially here. There is snow, though.
Ernie, I like you. You make people sick. You make them sick. I have the same quality.
Sick of what?
Just yada, yada, yada. Like, I thought that I talked a lot, and then there was you, and I figured I could cut down on my talking if you just did that.
Yeah.
My point.
I'm with you so far.
I'm trying to compliment you. Let me get there.
You keep taking some time.
My first week on this planet, a bird with horns tried to eat me. Came out of the sky and tried to gobble me up. And I was saved by a couple of wandering wanderers. You're a little guy.
I'm a little boy.
Something's probably tried to eat you at some point.
Yeah. Today.
Well, then I'm sorry I'm not a little bit quicker. Here's the factor, Ernest. Arnold? Arnold. Here's the thing, Arnold. I'm done. I know I didn't do great on this last leg, but I'm done.
Done.
Look out the window. Do you see any particular stars out there?
I take a look.
There's one star, like a shooting star that's like beautiful cerulean blue, like almost like cartoon blue, and it's like shining across the sky.
Yeah.
That's them.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
It's coming.
It's close.
Seems closer.
It's fucking close,
yeah,
Ernie.
it's getting here.
What was I getting at? Oh, sick. Sometimes people get sick of you. I
I
want
haven't
it.
really gotten that vibe.
Well, I'm getting a little sick of you interrupting right now. Let me do my thing.
I'm sorry.
So, I'm trying, and he just like stumbles over
Pour
to
another drink.
He fucking like drinks it, and he like walks over to a drawer. I'm trying to bequeath upon you. Let me queeth you.
I like bequeathing.
Okay. And he like pulls open a drawer, and he pulls out this rune stone.
Oh.
I have a lot to make up for. And you and your little band, and like he starts to cry a little bit, have made this possible. And I'll never forget you. Not you. Not Wesley, not Kai, not Brooks, not Cornwall. Not a one. And so,
Cornwall and Arnold.
I want you to have this. And he's going to hand you a bitter rune. If something eats you, then they'll get sick of you. And so what that is, it's the armor.
It happens more than you might
Yeah.
think.
So this is actually an armor rune, and when you put it on your armor, any creature that swallows you or engulfs you, like a ooze or a monster that eats you, gets sick. And if it tries to retch to lose the sickening condition, you get a free escape attempt.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Time to get a +1.
Oh, I'll lick it.
Oh, that's bad. It's a rock.
That's bad.
It's a rock.
Yeah, it's real bad. It tastes like a Switch game. That's real bad.
I have many bequeathals left. I need you to the crew, your little band.
Huh?
Go get them one at a time. I may bequeath upon them. Wait, what?
I don't know.
Was that canon?
Yeah.
What? Okay, so
He makes it with his mouth.
Ernie, I'm drunk, but
And that worked.
You called.
wait, who hears that horn? Wesley fucking like walks in hearing the horn.
What do you want, Ernie?
Oh my god.
It's your turn.
Ernest, leave. This is personal between me and Wesley.
Good luck.
The queething has begun. Come and be bequeathed upon. Wesley, do you drink?
No.
Now's a hell of a time to start. He pours it. You're at least 14, Wesley. It's time to put some hair on your chest. And he hands you a glass of whiskey.
You like this stuff, sir?
You have to drink it all at once. The flavor hits you differently that way.
Don't.
Wesley, you're like a little bird. I don't remember how you got on this boat.
I just asked nicely, and you said sure.
That sounds great. I'm also not sure exactly what you do here, but I've seen you during storms take care of things. I've seen you roping and jumping, and you're a slippery guy. You're coated in, I don't want to say like a membrane, just you have this aura about you. And I wanted to make it so that it's even more difficult for you to be caught. I just want you to be free. Your mom and dad are looking for you. You're gonna be stuck in a castle. You might need to escape and join a bunch of pirates one day. He goes over to his hat and he pulls the feather out of his captain's hat and he walks over and hands it to you. It is a storm feather. So what this is a consumable. And when you affix it to any of your armor, you can use an interact to cast fly for 1 minute. And anytime you dismiss the fly, you automatically get feather fall.
Neat. Thank you.
Dad. You could call me Dad.
Oh my god.
In light of certain revelations, I don't think that's appropriate.
I'd still like you to call me Dad.
You want to talk to all of us?
Yes, just get whoever's next, please.
Daddy.
I'll go, I guess fetch Cordelia.
Okay, Cordelia. Wesley finds you.
Don't call him Dad.
Why? Why would I?
He's asking for it.
Wesley, I'm not certain I want to go in there.
He's asking for it.
And that's a lot of the game. Congratulations.
I'll just leave her like puzzled.
You asked for me?
Cornflake.
Yes, sir.
He whips around, and as blue as his skin is, his eyes are that red. He is crying. There is like veins coming through here. He has dark circles underneath. He is just like rubbing his mustache, the cartilage that's hardened of his lip.
Was it the fancy napkins again?
He like looks, oh, and he realizes the fancy napkins have been soiled by his sort of rampage in here. That's not important. I have something for you. Don't you cook?
I do.
You do a great job of that. You have a little guy. He makes this.
Mm-hmm.
Give it to me.
The walking cauldron? Yeah, I'll summon it so it plods its way in here as well.
I've been working on this for weeks now, and I'm only realizing how useful it would have been before this curse. I had to destroy a lot of magic items for this. A lot of my own personal wealth. But you, Cornwall, you're worth it. And he takes a runestone and he just lays it into the cauldron. And you watch the cauldron first grows, and then you can see it kind of shape up a little bit. And then you can see this sort of like rune just glowing on the side and begins to bubble immediately. And what he did was put a Horn of Plenty rune on it. That's not a real thing, so don't look it up. But he has created a bountiful cauldron for you. So the cauldron now counts as a silver item. So if you want to melt it down for silver, if you need to like in a thing, you can. Once per day, you can spend 3 actions. And all you can do is stir the cauldron and cast a 4th level create food, creating enough vegetable stew to feed 12 creatures. And the more important thing is, when you use to craft alchemical items, potions, or oils, it gives you +2 to the crafting check.
Oh.
But the veggie stew.
The veggie stew, yes. You get both.
I don't even need veggies.
I hope whenever you eat this veggie stew, you remember me. He pats the cauldron.
I thought he patted me. I was like,
No.
On the bottom.
Thank you very much, sir.
Send in whoever's next for their bequeathal.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna go find Brooks, I guess.
Okay.
He's just like conked out like.
Yeah, he is like absolutely collapsed.
Brooks,
Cornelia.
the captain would like to see you.
Of course he would.
I think he's giving out gifts to everyone. And you can see the cauldron with the like glowing rune on it now.
Did your cauldron just wink at me? Okay, I'm going. So he just like stumbles into the captain. Like, isn't knock, he just opens the door and like rubs an eye. You wanted to see me?
Brooks, you look awful.
You are not wearing a shirt.
We're both men of speaking truth right now. See, people, they've called me a con man, a swindler, a liar. That's what I like about you, Brooks. You're simple You've got nothing in the background going on. Straightforward. Very basic. You are who you say you are. That's
right.
People in this world will try and take advantage of that. They'll try and take advantage of your honest nature. So I want you to have this. And he goes over to his nightstand and he takes a candle and he goes over and he hands it to you. This will help so people can't take advantage of you. And he hands you a candle of truth. So when you light it, creatures within 10 feet find it difficult to tell falsehoods. Everything within 10 feet of the candle get -4 penalty status to lie. And when you first light it, they have to make a will save or be unable to actually tell a lie at all.
Is this an item I can find?
Mm-hmm. And it's it burns for 10 minutes.
Thank you, sir. I will make sure to light this in the vicinity of people that I think might try and lie to me. I'm sure they won't think it's weird or anything.
Don't let people swindle you. Gotta swindle the swindlers.
I guess you would know. Well, you're very wise.
I need to bequeath the next person. Bring me Kai.
Okay. I guess I'll go to where Kai normally sleeps.
He's not there, but you pass by him when you're walking back from the
Okay.
captain's quarters. He's literally just holding
Oh, yeah, that's right.
the
Over there.
helm of the ship, and he's just spinning it absentmindedly. So you hear that sound it makes every time the rudder switches back and forth.
Where you steering us?
We're anchored.
Oh. Okay. Well, in that case, the captain wants to see you for something.
Got it. And Kai will turn and stride over to the captain's quarters. After watching the parade of people walk by.
Yeah. Kai,
Yes, Captain.
you scare the fuck out of me.
The feeling's mutual, Captain.
You see him pour from an empty whiskey bottle into an empty glass and then drink the empty glass and he sets it down. You remind me of a man I knew once. He was also an orc. He once carved a dragon into a man's flesh as he was striking him.
I don't think I could do that, sir.
No, but you're terrifying in your own way. This world is full of terrifying things, and you need to stay on top of that. And he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out this small leather bag. The smith probably could have done a better job, but I broke down some very expensive components I had and made these for you. And he reaches over. Inside, you see 4 bullets. One looks like it's packed tight, like it's full of little bullets. One literally has a skull carved on it, so it's like a ball bearing and then like a skull on the edge of it. There's one that literally has flames and like rock coming out of it, and there's another one that is full of earth, and you can feel it like resonating and humming. And he gives you dispersing bullet, terrifying bullet, meteor bullet, and big rock bullet. I'm sending you. I'm sending it to you on
Big
Discord.
rock.
The sound of big
They
rock
are each
bullet.
unique, and they each do something very cool.
Sick.
I hope big rock bullet turns into a big.
I mean, big rock bullet literally turns into a
If it
bullet in a
doesn't, I'm
giant's
quitting
throat.
the
Yeah.
campaign.
I was hoping you shot something and then it turned into a big
No.
rock.
Polymorph rock.
I mean, technically, it'll be beneath the big rocks and squish, so probably it will work that way. Kai, you're a man of the code. Can I ask you something?
Of course.
As your captain, I command you to speak earnestly.
Like a lot. Unnecessarily.
Honestly. What did you think of me, Kai?
Well, I was being honest when I said I found you scary. You're the first, well, recently, but before that point, you were the only person to look me in the eye for a very long time. You're, in a good way, look quite large, and when the mirth disappears from your eye, I find myself truly scared that something might be going wrong.
Thank you. That will be all. You're dismissed.
And Kai turns to walk out. Sir, not to... I don't mean to disobey. I am on my way out, but... I just think you've probably seen a lot of different things, and... Well, like you said, you're leaving, right? When I was a boy, I met a woman marooned upon the shores of my home. And she told me stories of her travels, and it's what inspired me to leave. And I was just wondering if you had any stories to share.
Pull up a chair, Kai.
And he'll kind of scoot a stool over from the corner.
I'll preface this story by asking one simple question. What do you know about the mythical continent of Sai? And he begins to spread a yarn full of heroes, adventure, fallen angels, risen demons, princes, and star-crossed lovers. And it lasts well into the night. Who else had something? Wesley?
I wasn't going to sleep, so you might want to take care of your thing while he's in there.
Yeah.
Well, if Guy's not going to sleep, then it's irrelevant.
Oh, okay.
Everyone has to be asleep in the dark.
Only Kai needs to be asleep.
I'm gonna go give him gentle kisses.
He's not in his bunk either, though, so...
I mean, I guess Wesley would, like, check out his room and, like, see what do you keep in your room. Specifically, he's looking for the canister of scrolls that Kai carries around.
Let's see. Yeah, he would have gone back and left this stuff there, so he doesn't really have too much, and he sleeps in the common area, right? So it's not even a closed off room. It's just somewhere that you could basically freely access. He has, his pack of stuff. There are a few sets of clothing, essentially. But that scroll case is basically just hung on a nail driven into the side of the ship.
Yeah, so Wesley wanted to find that, open it, retrieve the contents, find out, look for the wanted posters he saw you still had.
You have them all in there still?
Yep.
Yeah, because that's what he saw him like take one out, destroy it, and then put the others back.
I'll pull up the list. Iron Fist Zell.
Rip.
Foxy Millie Swales has been burned. That one's gone. Lynn Salem.
There's that one too.
Wilma the Weasel Sweet.
Once again, he just goes down the list.
Four-Eyed Sid. Hooktooth. Rip them all.
Yeah. And he bundles up the rest and like puts them in one of the braziers as he passes.
You said braziers instead of brazier.
I
I was thinking
I'm sorry.
Lottie's like, please.
Slow down.
Sorry.
I didn't mean to ruin your memo. I'm sorry. You just caught me.
Just if anyone were to like actually see him like slinking around the night, like he's just Wesley. Probably no one has actually seen him mad, but he looks like mad. He looks upset, and he just goes and like face plants back in his cot.
What'd you do with the rest of the stuff in the...
He left everything else alone. He only wanted to destroy the posters.
Okay. Love it. Anyone else for the night? go ahead and have your night's rest. As I move the scene a little bit, 6 hours later, you rest to the sounds of energy, sneezing,
Bless you.
energy conflux, and like the hammering, metal on metal. You can hear just these lightning crackling from the smith's room. And at one point, you see the smith go downstairs, grab the tortoises, and bring them all, following him in tow. They're just walking up to his place, and you hear more lightning, more sounds, and everything like that. And then eventually, sleep, or at least quiet rest, finds each of you. A misty morning meets misty eyes as dawn breaks across the sleeping sea. You wake to the usual clatter of the early morning crew, the push of the sea, the creaking of the Windfall's old red wood. Then there is a clear shout across the ship, punctuated by a single bell. Dong! Roll call! The smith's voice carries throughout all decks of the ship, and the scuttle and hustle of the crew members can be heard. There has not been a roll call in some time, not since the captain announced this venture into the sleeping sea. As you reach the top deck, you see the motley crew of the Windfall gathered with bated breath. Some still in night clothes, some still alert from their time on the night watch. Roll call, the smith says again. He stands in front of the captain's cabin, his hammer strapped to his waist, a large scroll unfurled in his hands. The captain paces behind him, now adorned in his full regalia, captain's coat, the hat sans feather, all of his jewelry, his corsair shirt, his fine boots, polished. And he just paces back and forth, his heavy footsteps thumping on the deck. And the smith calls out in a loud voice. Officers report and acknowledge when called. Quartermaster Ernest Murrenstock.
I step forward and I guess salute in a way that feels you would expect Ernie to be doing some sort of like tongue-in-cheek thing, but he's sensing the formality of the moment and just kind of actually does a crisp salute in front.
Helmsman Elridge Darrow. And Mr. Darrow walks forward. Aye, sir. Navigator Cassiopeia Alexanderi de Ulrich. You see Cass come forward in her big hat. Aye. Bosun Brooks of Arla.
Brooks Darla? Go step forward. And nod.
Bosun Marinth Thrice-Eyed. Aye, sir. Bosun Scottleham Reinbach the Third. You see Scotty walk forward. Aye. Master Gunner. And you see Rosamund looks at you, Kai, like still uncertain. Her eyes are like looking at you.
Kai's just staring directly back at her.
Red Rage Rosamund. And she steps forward and the crew's like looking back and forth. And you see Melicato stop and turn. And then the smith doesn't miss a beat. She says, Aye. Officers here and accounted for. Melicato waves his hand. Continue. Crew, report and acknowledge when called. Frederic de Lusignan. Frederic steps forward. Aye. Cordelia of Ravenmount.
Morning.
Azalea of Maifu. Present. Christopher of Osselin. Aye. Terry.
Oh god.
The scroll rolls up. Aye, aye, aye! And you see Terry come from below decks, like pulling on a pair of pants.
God damn it, Terry.
Aye, aye. The smith unfurls the coal. Lottie of Osselin. Aye. Edmund Easton Arling.
Oh. Aye. Right?
Who?
Whitman Hillborough. Flintlock stops forward. Aye. Riley Stinger. Aye. Ismet, the Dragon Knight. Oh. Hiki Alani Holokai.
Aye.
All crew present and acknowledged, sir. And the scroll rolls up. You have to give me one moment. The captain steps forward, and you can see he's... Well, to say that he's blue would be strange, but he is nervous, and you can see he does have his his eyes under his hat completely open, and he's like walking back and forth. And he speaks, and you see him stop and clear his throat. And I'm just stalling for time as I get the music queued up. And he turns to address the crew. This may come as a shock for many of you. I am not from Arla, as I had previously deceived you. I crashed in this world on a vessel from the very stars years ago. I've done a lot of good. I've done a lot of bad. And a great deal I have done that will only be judged as my actions ripple through the channels of time and we look back upon them. But I am your captain. My decisions are your decisions, your wills tied to mine. I have found us treasure, adventure, glorious freedom on the high seas, a chance to make our lives what we choose. And I have done you a disservice. I am a coward. I am being hunted for what I've done in the past, and you are presently being punished for my actions. So once again, I run. I did not mean to bring this pain to your planet. I am a greedy individual, I will not deny it, but I didn't come here for greed. This planet was supposed to be a sort of salvation for me. My second chance. My windfall. Mr. Kai,
Aye, sir.
what does Article 10 of the Code dictate?
Upon a captain's retirement, he may appoint another captain of their choosing.
Then as my power as captain, I, Melikata the Magnificent, hereby name my heir and successor and captain of the Windfall, Cassiopeia Alexanderi de Ulrich. And I leave you with these words. Greater than all the gold you found on this journey, greater still than the treasures and trinkets, the monsters we've slain, and more meaningful than the past we've left behind are the bonds we have forged on this ship. By the wind that slashed on our back as we toiled, by the spray of the salt in the airs we've sailed, by the blood we've spilled for one another, and the blood that we'll spill again. We are the strength of Master Kai, the rage of Rosamund, the intelligence of Cass, the cunning of Ernie, the wisdom of Mr. Darrow, the agility of Wesley. The world is out there. It's calling for you. Just reach out and take it. He closes his fists, and you watch as the smith raises his hammer in the air, and you see this chromatic spray, this rainbow aura begin to rise from the deck of the ship. And you hear the smith just address the crew once with a soft smile. Goodbye. And you watch as the energy around them raises, and like a shooting star, the rainbow cascades into the sky, leaving behind this dust trail, this opalescent starlight in its wake. And as dawn breaks, you watch the mist of the sleeping sea disperse. You watch the sun rise on a now untethered ocean. And it's like a great fog is lifted from your hearts and your minds and your souls. And you breathe free, unenchanted air once more. As you head towards the dawn, the anchor lifted, the sails unfurled, sailing softly across those gray-blue waves, Frederic begins to sing. It's somber, and it carries over the entire crew. I am a poor wayfaring stranger. I'm traveling through this world beyond. There is no sickness, toil, nor danger in that bright world to which I go. I'm going there to see my father. I'm going there no more to roam. I'm just a going over sailing. I'm just a going over home. And that's where we're going to go ahead and take a break for today. And we'll be back in about 10 minutes, y'all. And we'll see you when we are back. And we're back. One more time? One more time.
No, I don't want to say it.
Thank y'all for sticking by with our break. So, in our first half of Windfall, we saw some bequeathings from the captain. He gave the party some gifts. Some gifts before he and the smith called roll call, took complete stock of the ship. That is every character that is on this ship. I hope I didn't forget anyone.
Only one.
Who?
Someone's really sad, like in the bottom decks, like
Yeah, I didn't get called. And then, after a very vigorous speech, the captain and the smith disappeared into the aether.
But I liked one of them.
After naming Cass the new captain,
Thank goodness it was her.
Frederic dotted the moment, the very poignant song, and as the breeze catches, he sort of turns, and you can see him projecting over towards Wesley. Like he's not hiding anything, like he starts performing in your direction. As the flag with Melikado's face still on it, the blue Jolly Roger flying in the wind, and you can see it going straight northeast towards Restoran, and by extension, Lindywynde Loch. I know dark clouds will gather o'er me. I know my pathway's rough and steep, but golden fields lie out before me, where weary eyes no more shall weep. I'm going there to see my mother. I'm going there no more to roam. I'm just a going over sailing. I'm just a going over home. The rest of the day, on the Windfall is quiet and poignant. Everyone does their work, and everyone moves with a speed and professionalism hitherto unknown to this crew. How would you like to take the rest of this day?
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. When we were collecting all those little pieces of the astral stars and whatnot, I really thought they were gonna take us with them.
Yeah, that was my impression too.
No, did they make that impression on you guys?
So,
No, he's like, yeet, yeet, skeet, get me out of here. Yeet.
Like into the stars with them.
I thought that like our ship was gonna get faster.
Terry turns in, he's like, I thought we were gonna fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he was restoring a vessel, right? Like a means of transportation. I thought we were like outfitting the Windfall.
I thought we were gonna get like booster jets.
Maybe it was a metaphor. Well,
Honestly, I thought the same. But you know, the captain told me the story of how he got here last night. And Kai's eyes are bloodshot, and he's talking slower than he usually does. But you know, he just sort of like appeared here in a crater, and then a bird tried to eat him.
It's been a big bird.
It couldn't eat me. I'd make it sick now.
Did you catch something?
Yeah.
yeah.
A turn. What's Cass up to?
She is literally, she and like 5 crewmen are already like throwing out stuff, like moving in furniture, moving in clothes. And I need that over there, and this bed, this bed lining, he left the lining. Brooks, can you come? And she's like motioning, she's like, I'm not touching anything where he slept.
Why me?
I don't know.
She wants to watch you work.
Should I tell Kai you're defying Captain's orders?
You bitch.
She smiles.
Fine. I'll go ahead and do that.
She didn't take offense to that, like she loved it. Like the little...
I know she did.
Yeah. All right, my first order of
All right, old
business.
lady.
Ernie,
Yeah.
you annoy the shit out of me, but you're very good at your job. You can remain as quartermaster.
Okay, it's really not what I thought was going to happen. Actually, Terry, can I have my book back?
100%
I must admit, I would love to see someone walk the plank. She's like looking around.
We'll just pick someone that can swim. Half the crew can't. It's real weird.
Well, I'll be absolutely damned if I'm doing 2 jobs. Kai, you're the new navigator. Captain's orders.
Aye, ma'am.
Well, that takes care of that. It's just occurred to me. There's a first mate position open as well.
Yeah, I kind of hoped he would stay.
I think we all did, at least a little bit. Well, I don't want to talk to you that much. Brooks, you're first mate now.
Like he's like rolling up the sheet and he's just.
That's good. I really like counting the stuff.
Aye, aye, sir.
And she just smiles.
You know, my hands are a little itchy now. I kind of wanted to throw this overboard.
She's like, and you hear Terry go like littering. But
we could've reused
no, it's gone. It's in the ocean.
I don't think you want that. There were stains.
Were they blue?
He just blew himself.
Now I want to throw myself overboard.
That's someone to walk the plank.
What do you have in mind about changing the old flag up there?
Oh, someone's going to need to do something about that.
Because frankly, do I look up? Do I still see a star approaching?
The blue star?
Yeah.
It is now like almost like what would be like almost like physically impossible. It's going with the curve of the earth, and then you watch it go like a check mark.
Okay, we're good, but we might want to disavow all knowledge of this man.
All in favor of never speaking the name Melicado the Magnificent again. Say aye.
Aye.
It is a mouthful.
Yeah. I think our first order of business is getting our little dukeling home.
Seemed to be the goal. Get paid, cheer mom up.
And I'll be honest, it's been a while since I've been to restaurant. It might be nice. I don't know how many of you have been to Lindywynde Loch, but it is gorgeous. And I'm very excited for a little recreational time there. So, it's going to take about, Master Kai, how long to restaurant from here?
Oh, at least a fortnight.
So,
Faster with booster jets, I thought.
well then Ernie, perhaps you need to start working on some booster jets. You can repurpose whatever's left in the Smith's workshop if you left anything behind.
I'll be right back.
Wow. I didn't think about that.
Move your shack into his workshop.
Too visible.
So, you like
I'm like cool as I exit the room. I'm like,
it's like the higher level party member died. You're like, all his stuff.
Mom and Dad left.
You run in there. There is just a completely blank. I mean, immaculately clean. No nail out of place. The room is just empty. There is just one piece of paper on the floor.
I walk over to it.
Sorry, Ernie. S.
I don't even want this. It's too clean in here. It's bullshit.
He's Brooks' room now.
Brooks, you can have your fucking room.
It's what
I kick the door off its hinges.
Can you?
I roll to kick the door off its hinges.
No, it's good. Please. So Ernie.
It was fixed by the Smith. All you do is
Yeah.
open.
It's a little
Or
old door.
he's pre-fastened the door, expecting this, so only the bottom part opens up, and you're like, God damn it!
Well, it's like a Dutch door.
Yeah. Okay, so you leave Brooks's room. All right, and the rest of the day is yours. What are we doing aboard the new Windfall?
Hesitation before improved.
Do you think we should rebrand? Like, should we paint the two next to it?
Windfall 2? Windfell? I like Windfall. It's a double entendre. That's French.
What's a
That's
French?
what?
What's the French?
That's restaurant. Nope.
No?
It's Elvish.
Well, I guess I should fix my door.
Okay, so you go in there and you have a whole new space to yourself. That's your cabin now.
You walk in and I'm just standing in the doorway, like looking at you. And I'm
Like an angry 8-year-old.
Well, I don't have my own bed. I could probably make one.
Or you could order the quartermaster to get you one.
You could.
That is my whole job.
Brooks is now the senior.
Oh. This is fine. I think I'd prefer to make my own bed.
Okay, so you're gonna start crafting a bed today? Okay, I think you have the supplies to make something like that happen for sure. Okay, what about everyone else?
The seas are fair, and there's like not busy work. I think Wesley will just like go fish or something.
Okay, all right. Why don't you roll a survival check? Let's see if you catch some fish.
21.
21. You pull out a sort of 3-foot fish that's like pale pink and yellow. Wesley doesn't know what kind of fish this is, but it's big and it looks like good eating.
Yeah, I'll probably bring it down to the kitchen at some point.
Give it a chomp.
I would have actually gone to talk to Cassiopeia.
Okay.
Good morning, Captain.
Good morning.
There was something I wanted to try before all of that to maybe afford them some privacy, but I can still offer it. I guess for our purposes. I was doing some research on spells and the like, and well, we had some heat for a while. I'm not entirely certain if we still do, but and she'll kind of pull out that same little book that she had shown the smith, and on some of the newer pages, you can tell she's like ripped out earlier pages and kind of like scratched certain things out, or like ripped chunks of pages that she need on it and to kind of put it in. I might be able to shroud us, protect us from prying eyes of the magical variety, and perhaps even normal. I don't know, I haven't done it before, but it's just a thought. I don't know if it would be helpful, useful.
And she like kind of just raises a hand. Can everyone excuse us, please? And she goes and closes the door. Cordelia, thank you so much for bringing this to me, and I would love to try it. As captain, it is my job to make sure that everyone is okay. So the first thing I want to say is, are you okay?
In what way?
She smiles. You heard my last name for the first time today. I'm from Star Heel too. I know what it's like. And I know how it feels having Cohen Minke on the same ship as you. The only reason I'm not dead right now is because of my name. And the only reason you are not is because the captain hid you.
Yes. Yes.
So, are you okay? And it's fine to say no.
To be perfectly candid with you, I don't know that I've been okay since Osman.
So, what do we do about this?
I usually just keep running, but their reach is far.
Very far. Even in Restoran, I'm not completely sure we're going to be safe. Maybe from the hands, but not the eyes, not the ears. We need to be proactive instead of reactive. So, I want you to do what you need to do to get yourself in the best shape. If that's relaxing, then you need to relax. If that's going and murdering a bunch of assholes, then we'll make that happen. But I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that my crew is safe.
I appreciate that. And I think this will help keep eyes off of us. It's something that I can prepare to do every day, if needed.
She smiles and says, then you have my full approval. Please, have at it.
And if you need anything, you know where to find me.
Oh, if I need anything, I'll tell Brooks. Don't worry.
I'm sure he'll enjoy that thoroughly. And I'll leave.
Okay.
And as I step out, I will start casting Private Sanctum.
Private Sanctum.
It does take 10 minutes, but
Okay.
as she's walking out, anyone lingering on deck would see her kind of muttering to herself. And as she does, the bright sunlight, like it's that fog, that mist that had been rolling in, kind of comes back just a little, to kind of dim the light just a bit, and the shadows on the deck kind of stretch out towards her as she's concentrating. And as she reaches the mast, she'll place a hand on it, and as she does, the shadows that have drawn themselves to her kind of expel and rush out into a 100-foot burst. And for 24 hours, from the outside, the entire ship just looks like a bank of impenetrable black fog.
Nice.
Any sounds, smells, lights that would come from the ship or the deck cannot be seen outside of the fog. And scrying spells cannot pierce the fog. Mind
That's the
reading,
big one.
yeah, mind reading effects also do not work within this, essentially on the ship now.
Okay.
Interesting.
And I'm gonna rule that since you cast it like on the ship, the cloud's kind of like moving with the ship, and you're not
Yeah.
flying out of the cloud, which is how the spell would work. But I really love this, that it's just covering the ship. That's incredible. All right.
Imagine the stories people will tell about our ship.
Yeah, just like the black fog. I saw the black fog on the horizon. Incredible. Love it.
What was that? What that thing you just did?
Oh,
The shadows went.
yes, they're protecting us now. From,
In a magical way.
yes,
Okay.
from prying eyes. Scrying magic's mind reading. Nobody can see into the ship now.
Well, I mean that seems pretty useful.
It's something I've kind of been fiddling with for a while, and
Yeah, it seems like it would be very beneficial, because in about like 10 minutes the captain's gonna have regret and try to come back, and now he can't.
oh, I didn't really think about that.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking about other things.
Yeah.
There's like, as you're like talking, there's like a little nudge that kind of forceful, kind of hurts your foot. You look down, there's a very goth-looking turtle. Little bird,
Oh yeah.
you promised.
Yes, darling, yes. And I'll sit down with him and I'll fix that.
And like the wings raise, and he just takes flight again, spreading his wings.
The thing is, he's been trying to walk to you this whole day.
You just keep moving. You can see some.
Oh no, the stairs.
What? You actually, it's Jane. He actually accidentally took Imerus instead and used that to go. Why do I have 4 instead of 3? Oh well, extra material.
Wow.
Boy.
Yeah, so, anyway.
So magic can't see us.
Hypothetically, yes.
Okay. I casually walked back to my room
Okay.
and see if there's been any response on the message that I sent
The
to Mary.
paper is completely inert and blank. Do you try writing on it?
I mean, I did last night. At this point, I just write. I don't know if I want to say that. No, I'll go ahead and write it. Captain and first mate are gone.
Okay. It stays on the paper.
Okay. Tuck that into my pocket.
Okay.
Acquired a sheet of normal paper.
Anyone else?
Whoopsies, did I break your toy?
No one else? So, what I would like is, as you make your way out of the sleeping sea, I would like someone to roll the final for this D100, the final sailing check.
I want to do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna use the turrets.
Yeah, let's use a turtle one.
Okay.
Do what you must. You know what must be done.
I have to hit the rattle bones one. 52.
52.
You've had that one already.
You've had that one already. Go ahead and re-roll for me.
Yeah. 55.
55.
55.
Is that one?
This is going to be tomorrow, so anything else for this day? Good? Okay.
Some veggie stew.
I mean, I can use it, or the rest of our regular supplies before doing that.
Oh, true. So they don't go to waste.
Yeah, so they don't spoil.
Or we can sell them in town.
I think that cauldron can make pickles.
They might spoil.
All right.
Cucumber stew.
So, as you are, who's up first the next day?
I guess I would be if I'm casting this every day.
Okay. So, as you're awake, I want you to go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Oh no. Okay.
This music's almost too peaceful. I'm looking for something more like.
No, I can stay peaceful.
No, it's peaceful, but like.
Oh, you're
Yeah, don't forget your hero points.
Oh yeah, let me use one of those. Ooh, that's better. 25.
At 25. So, as you're over there and you're casting this spell, before you finish casting, you notice one thing along the sides of your ship. So, like, the 1 second it takes you, like, okay, it's 24 hours before you recast it, you notice dolphins. You notice a huge amount of Asoan gold-nosed dolphins. Go ahead and roll a nature check for me real quick.
I'm not really good at those.
Are they evil dolphins?
Are they going to turn into dolphin sea devils?
A 5.
A 5. You know what they're called. You're like, oh, those are gold-nosed dolphins, but you don't know much else about them. And when I say dolphins, I mean like first you're like, there's like 6. Oh, there's like 10. Oh, there's like 100. I mean, the entire side of the ship, it no longer looks like you're sailing on water. You just see gold, and they're actually gold and like switching to like pink, the same color as the fish that Wesley caught. Don't worry, it was a fish. It was a fish. But imagine like a gold to pink gradient on them. They're mostly gold with like little warm parts of pink for their underbelly and stuff like that. And they are very small for dolphins. So like think of like the bottlenose that you're thinking, and like put it in half. They're very
like
tiny
little
little
pygmy
pygmy dolphins.
Oh,
Yeah,
so cute.
and they're jumping up and down, and they're like spraying water on the ship and stuff. And like some people are like coming to like look over the sides and stuff like that. But that's before you finish casting this. Before you finish casting the spell,
Okay.
you can still finish that if you want to.
Yeah, I'll finish it, but then I'll go find Ernest.
Okay.
Sitting there looking at my sheet of paper.
Still has what you wrote on it.
Yep.
There's a whole lot of dolphins. Like a lot.
Like
Like
10?
No, far more than
Like a
that.
dozen?
So many more. Just
I'm gonna come out. This could take a while.
You go out, but you realize as you finish casting the spell, the dolphins on the outside have noticed the black fog, and now they have been dispersed from the ship, and now they're swimming away from the ship. And they're spreading out, and they seem to be heading like sort of like northwest instead of northeast. So a little bit off of your beaten path, but they are swimming in a big pod, in a big group, making like these big golden cascades are going up and down through the water.
That's a lot of fucking dolphins.
I don't know much about them, but it seemed a little odd.
What do I know?
Roll nature. Anyone else want to roll nature on this? Anyone else seeing this?
24.
24.
18.
Okay.
13.
Okay. The Asoan gold-nosed dolphin is an extremely sort of capricious, but they are very... They love pranks, essentially. They're very fun dolphins, and they're super intelligent, like more intelligent than like human on Earth dolphins are. They love playing games. They love people that like kind of play around with them, and they communicate very strongly with a group. Meaning, like if you hurt one in this pod, 100 dolphins down is going to know about it. They're not like telekinetic, but the way they communicate is very quick. And they are known secret keepers. Like you've heard of people like wizards talking to these dolphins and hiding things with them before.
Hey, Captain.
She walks out. My, there are a lot of them,
Can
aren't
we
there?
follow them?
Master Kai.
Literally dead asleep right now.
Mr. Darrow. Aye, ma'am. Can we follow these dolphins? Aye. And he just kind of pulls, and then we turn and continue on with the dolphins. And you see them, and they are dancing around this tiny, like little shoals. And the Windfall actually has to stop, slow down, roll up the sails, and like skirt around because there's a huge coral reef. And you see the dolphins going in, out, under, and they're re-emerging on the other side near this small little island that neither the boat nor the rowboat could get anywhere near because of this like razor sharp coral, like thick, almost like multicolored barrier around the island, like thick, clumpy coral, big old like fungus looking things. I don't know underwater ocean life, but like rainbow, pink, blues, purples, just bright, beautiful. Think like Paradise Island, but this beautiful what am I gonna say? Like coral around it.
Hey, Wesley.
What's up?
Pull out your list. You got ride a dolphin on there?
Do now.
Now that you mention it.
Look, they're all around that island over there.
Okay. You want me to look at? You want me to investigate that island?
No, I want to ride a dolphin. I want to know if you wanted to come with me.
Yeah, sure. Like while we were talking, I'm like been trying to entice one over with like some like crackers or something from our bag.
Shoot, it just jumps out and nabs it out of your hand. You try to catch it? Roll athletics. Roll athletics.
Oh no. 16 plus 70, 33.
You got a dolphin.
What's next? I
I didn't think this
Ernie, you gotta think quick. What are we doing?
You grab the dolphin.
I'm grabbing dolphin.
Another one?
I want to ride it.
Okay, roll athletics.
Chaos.
22.
22. Okay, so Ernie grabs a dolphin and he goes in the water because the dolphin takes him with it. Okay. So then Wesley dives into the water with the dolphins. What's everyone else doing?
Watching with interest.
Okay.
Cordelia's just kind of standing there with her head in the back.
My little guy.
Brooks, do you think this was all part of the plan, or are they winging it again?
I think they're fitting it.
The dolphin screams have woken Kai up since he had stayed up late the previous night. And he kind of walks up from below. What's going on out here?
Red Rage like elbows you, just like dolphins, hell of a lot of them. You see Ernie like Free Willy style splashing in the dolphins.
I'm just like swimming after.
Just as fast. Is he okay?
You know, they said something about wanting to ride a dolphin, and then they just kind of went off. I'm not entirely certain what they're doing.
So as you go underwater with these hundreds of dolphins, they kind of like shake you off a little bit, and now they're just kind of like looking at you sort of expectantly. Roll performance
I'm not good at that.
or deception. You can use deception.
Deception? To pretend to be a
You do
dolphin?
have
Yeah.
hero points.
You never need to speak with animals in this campaign.
21.
21. It like they like kind of like just look at you, and then you see them swim away and go over to Wesley.
I guess I'm like underwater. I just like mimic its same gestures and like sort of like swim around a little bit.
Okay, let's try. I'll let you use deception. Let's use athletics for you.
Okay. I'll reroll that just because I don't know what else I'm using these for.
It's a battle.
32.
A 32. So you watch Wesley like become dolphin and clap. And then they like look at both of you, and then they all sort of like, oh, you swear you see them nodding at each other, and they all begin swimming deadly fast into the coral. There's like a small hole in the middle of it, and they go.
A squeeze, you say?
Gesture for Ernie, like swimming along.
All right, you're gonna have
I'm
to roll.
like, I say like, and I swim up for air.
Okay. You're gonna try and swim in?
Yeah.
Roll athletics.
Swim check. Oh, this one's still.
We're swimming.
27.
27. You go in the hole with them. You see, as you're swimming in and you dive in the hole very quickly, you see his legs disappear. It's right in front of you. You gonna try it? Okay, roll.
Athletics?
Athletics. We're swimming.
I'm a small guy.
Are you gonna get stuck?
I'm gonna roll again.
No.
Better. 24.
24. It's not enough.
But he's a little guy.
Yeah.
Little guy.
I know. It's not enough. You take 9 points of slashing damage, and you get stuck and lodged, like some of the coral stabbing into your back and like scraping, and you're actually blocking the hole. And like 3 dolphins go thoont, thoont, thoont. Roll a reflex save.
Do you at least get dislodged by the dolphin?
23.
A 23. You're just enough to take no damage because of your evasion as you get pushed out. And as you do, you get pushed out. There's more like spiked coral right here that you see Wesley kind of edge around, and then you edge around and emerge out of this like little labyrinth channel. You see a statue in front of you. There's a statue of a mermaid. She's got a long tail that's sort of at the base swirled around. She has this nude upper half that has her hands out like this, and the statue's mouth is like open. Nothing to be inserted, but like it's carved like it's open. There's like it's covered in the mouth, and she has this like blue sort of crystal like in her chest right here.
Man, she's almost as hot as that bird lady we saw that time.
And you hear this like sort of haunting, melancholy just like overcoming the entire area.
Fishing my pocket ball here. Do you think it's trying to trick us?
Wait, did you pull out?
My earplugs.
I pulled out my lock, like my thieves' tools, like to dislodge the jewel. Are we still underwater, or are we able to breathe at this point?
No, you're up on the like the sandy stuff. So everyone on the deck, you guys see bloop bloop. You see Ernie and Wesley on the shore of this like little white sanded island, and then you see all the dolphins form a ring around them.
I feel like it would be kind of rude to.
That's ominous.
About how
They brought us
far
here.
out are they?
I mean,
How far are they? I don't know, like 400 feet, something like that.
maybe they wanted us to.
It's not that you can see 400 feet.
Yeah.
I was just seeing if they were close enough for message.
You could probably like get on the edge of the ship. How far his message goes?
120.
Doesn't go anywhere in this
So-
fog. I don't think, right?
Well,
You can
me,
magic
it's
out.
fine.
You can't
We-
smell or
we
sound
can send
out.
stuff out. It's just stuff can't.
Seems like a minor to me.
I turn to the dolphins. Can we take this?
They all just sort of like, you see them all like, it's almost like synchronized swimming. They're going,
Are they swimming to the tune of the sound I'm hearing?
yes.
Does she look familiar to you?
Oh, good question. Does she look familiar to me?
You could roll history.
History's not a thing.
Oh,
right?
sorry, not history. It's
Society?
society. Whoops. Roll some society for me.
That's cocked. 19.
19. That's a mermaid, man. It's a mermaid.
I think it's all right. It's a generous mermaid, a famous gift-giving mermaid from history. Well known for giving magic jewels to passersby.
You see the dolphins.
It looks more like she's asking for something.
Oh, her hands are out.
Look around the beach. Is there anything like that seems out of place?
It's just a statue and the dolphins. The dolphins are all just jumping around to this soft
For a
music that's still in the
dolphin.
background.
Really have anything to offer?
Didn't know dolphins formed cults.
I have too many things to offer. I don't think I get closer to the blue glowing jewel. Does it appear to be magical in nature?
Yes, certainly.
Yeah, this has got magic all over it. Should we take it?
Well,
I
guess
say
we
with
should try
my thieves'
giving her
tools out.
Something first.
Okay. Do you see any coconuts?
No.
What about large rocks? Small rocks? A fish?
Perhaps we could ask the dolphins, like, does something go in here? Did that look like a no?
Pretty definitive to me. The real only question at this point is which of us is about to break this gem off the statue.
Who's the assister? We
I'm
have the exact same skill.
I'm willing to try.
Okay.
All right. I try to pry the gem loose.
Okay, go ahead and roll with your thievery check.
23.
Okay. Pops it out, no problem. Lands in your hands. You watch all of the dolphins scatter instantly and simultaneously under the water. You watch. You
I
watch
pretend to turn into a
as
dolphin.
the water recedes, and you watch as the sort of ground shakes, and you watch the the coral around you break.
Oh.
Like you know that scene in Inception where the whole dream's breaking down. Cass is like battle stationed like right away. Like the cannon's getting rolled out, swords are being drawn.
I don't think that was supposed to happen.
All the dolphins, you watch them scatter, hundreds of them just from the island, and you watch as the statue crumbles, and the crystal in your hand shatters, leaving a small carved statuette in your hand. It looks just like the mermaid, but crude and carved. You can go ahead and add a singing muse to your inventory. And it seems whatever enchantment was on this island is now in your hand.
Are you gonna need help getting back to
No, I can swim.
It's now easier because you can just
Yeah.
go out through the coral.
poking fun at him? Get on my back.
Is Ride Wesley on your list? You know what I mean.
All right. What's next? So I'm not just here looking at
When we get back to the ship, I hand it over to Wesley, and I was like, "Look, you got there first. I just like to take stuff. You can actually keep it."
Thanks. Well, stow it for now.
Sorry, Captain. Those dolphins they're capricious little fellas, and I'm a capricious little fella, and I just felt like I needed to do it.
True.
But at least the coral is out of the way, and we can sail right on through.
Right, it'll be easier to turn around now. At least we only lost about an hour of daytime. Mr. Darrow, return to our previous course, please. Aye, ma'am. And Mr. Darrow turns the ship.
When you really
once
think
more.
about it, it's more like we gained an hour of nighttime.
And she walks away. All
He
right.
does not like me.
She said that to your face.
And that was our final,
Our final event.
final event for the Sleeping Sea, because you are no longer in the Sleeping Sea.
We're in the waking sea.
Oh
You son of
Oh
a,
god.
you son of a gun. So as you come up, days. This is days later. So if anyone has anything, you're gonna need to say something to me right now before we move on a little bit.
How many days? Because I will roll a crafting check.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and do your crafting. You can go ahead.
Yes, how many days? I need to rest.
You're gonna be completely full on everything. I'll tell you that much right now. It's going to be 2 weeks, so 12 days later.
Oh, that's 3 then.
Go ahead and roll your crafting checks and record that while I narrate. The move from the Sleeping Sea to the Rime Wind Sea is noticeable. The water is a deeper, deeper blue, not that gray-green wash, the slow lilts of the sleeping sea. As you approach and see the continent of Restaurant on the horizon, you can see that the waves actually become more fierce, picking the Windfall up, pushing it further. The winds pick up, blowing in many different directions. You go through storms, and you go through a weather that you haven't experienced outside of the strangeness of the sleeping sea so far. You begin to pass other ships bearing markings from Arla, from Mira, from Tarva, from to and from places. And what you see on the distant horizon through your glasses, your spy glasses, or your own observations is ships every day sailing out of the sleeping sea. Now, presumably, also free of their enchantment. Night falls 2 weeks later, and you can see it, the outline of a continent. Cass, the captain, comes up to you, Wesley. She places her one arm on your shoulder, and she motions to the side. These beautiful, bare, white cliff face under these gorgeous grasslands above. You can see castles, buildings, towers, cities, all on the rise and fall of this risen continent. And then she points above. It's not night after all. You've sailed underneath Von Rossen Isle. As you look up, you see the size of a small country, this island above you in the air, blocking the very sun. Richest family in the world. They pulled their own island out of the sky, still a part of Restaurant, for some reason still swearing fealty to the Emperor. We'll need a different kind of ship to get up there. Soon enough, you sail from the shadow of Von Rossen Isle over towards the north. Those of you that are from Arla notice that you're getting close to homeward waters, but you turn east instead, following along the capes and tips. And you're on the eve of the night where you will arrive in Lindywynde Loch. What are you feeling right now, Easton?
It's still weird to hear people say that name. I'm a bit nervous. I mean, this could change things. You know, when we met the crew of the Red-tailed Fish, they mentioned that my parents had a court wizard who could restore my memories, and I'm worried I might disappear.
It's a strange thing how memory defines us. But we're more than the sums of our experiences, Wesley. It's not that you will change or that Easton will change. You're both becoming more than what you were before. You don't have to fight for control. You can be who you want. There are certain expectations that come with a name. I'm going to tell you right now, the only damn thing that matters in the end is what you choose to do.
Right. I should at least meet them. I want them to assure them that I'm safe. My mother... I saw her one night, days ago. She is unwell.
I understand that. You're lucky to have parents that miss you, even though it caused them pain. Try and enjoy who you find out you are, because you can still choose to be someone else. And we need your money. We need that money. We need that money badly.
That we do. I'll put in a good word.
Ernest, I'll take my leave of you. Get a good night's sleep tomorrow. Well, you're the highest ranking among all of us.
Yeah. Captain.
The coffers, how are they looking?
The captain never really kept like a group fund. He kind of just had money and we didn't. And he took that.
Am I being informed that our ship has 0 funds?
I mean, I got a little bit if you need to borrow some, but it's mine. I found it on an elephant.
Kai? She calls for Kai.
Yes, Captain.
That code of yours, what are the rules on paying everyone? I know that payment happens when we reach shore at the end of a voyage, and this is the end of our voyage. Everyone's wages need to be paid. What happens if there's hypothetically no gold?
Well, everyone gets even shares of loot, minus certain officers. But there has to be loot to get even shares of it.
How much
Sorry,
money?
no gold?
How much money does a poor person think is a lot of money?
10 gold pieces?
Oh, God, I was really hoping you were gonna say 1. See, I just put this. My dagger's really nice now. And I like throw it at the wall and it goes back into my hand. That was not cheap.
Wonderful. I will work on crisis management. Speak no word of this to the crew. I'm not Melicado. I'll make sure that they're paid.
Aye, Captain. We could just get some loot.
We're too close to the restaurant shores.
Salvage, perhaps?
One of the strongest navies in the world.
Salvage. Below.
We certainly could. Or ransom.
That's not my name.
I'll keep working on it. She adjusts her hat, which is now like a Catherine's hat that she's had fashioned. There's something about this big hat that makes you so stupid. She takes it off and throws it on the bed. I'm starting to sound like him. At any rate, it's something we don't have to worry about.
I could sell the buckets.
Take some time with your crew, and I'll handle the money situation. You just worry about the what's he going to do situation. I'll leave you to yourself tonight. In the morning, we make it to Lindywynde Loch. So, Cass leaves. She starts going in there and she starts flipping through ledgers and looking at stuff. Clearly in some sort of huff, leaving the 5 of you alone once more.
Oh, hi, I'm here too.
Oh, I didn't realize I was there.
I mean, you can
We just
be
walk
there.
as a group.
Probably all just convened.
I think you congregate at some point.
So Wesley, do you think that they're gonna let you walk away? I know you said you wanted to keep adventuring, but I mean, even the red-tailed fish seemed reluctant to even have us with you.
Why wouldn't they?
And lose you again.
It's a good point. Perhaps we could all persuade them to let me go. I mean, perhaps we could contract the Windfall for their benefit. I don't know.
I mean, we can try, but rich people don't really listen to us, folk.
I mean, would they listen to their son?
Not in my experience, no.
Oh,
I told my parents all the time, I'm tired of mushroom soup. They just kept making it. It's not quite the same thing.
I don't think it is.
Well, that is an angle that we could use. Contracting the Windfall. I mean, I don't think we even have any plans on where to go after this. Anyway.
No. And I expect even if they do come to some sort of accordance, they'll want me to, at least stay for a time.
I mean, that makes sense.
Maybe there's work to do in Restaurant.
Have you considered that once you have your memories back, you might not want to come with us?
I did. Cass had a talk with me, and I think I'll still have that choice. I'll be like myself, but just more.
Like faster?
That would be cool. But I don't think that's how things work.
I just, maybe you like to adventure around because you were looking for something, and you might not want to if you found it.
That's a good point, but I can feel it. It doesn't feel like the end. I feel like we're just getting started.
I should hope so.
Well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow? Okay, yeah, I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
I do have a small question. I know you've all grown used to me. Should I? And she kind of fiddles with that eye patch that you gave her. I don't want to cause unnecessary troubles. And if that means staying with the ship, that's fine.
I think to what I know about Restaurant, how off-put would they be by Cordelia's general appearance?
To the part where she'd probably get impolite stares, and people might treat her poorly, but not where she'd be arrested or hunted.
Yeah, I think people might stare at you some, but
No, they do
and
that already.
I scrunch my face up, and my hair starts turning like really bright blue. Maybe they'll look at me instead.
I appreciate the sentiment, but well, as long as I don't cause trouble for all of you.
I mean, well, he's already showing up with a bunch of pirates, so
Are we allowed to say that now?
I don't really
I
understand.
feel like we're less allowed to say that now.
I mean, actually, you outrank me. Are we allowed to say it?
Yeah. Well, I say no because we were really shit at it. We don't have anything to show for it. Were we ever really pirates?
Yeah,
if
we
never
have
got any loot?
a cannon, and it is always pointed the wrong direction.
Yes. So, truth be told, I don't think we were pirates at all. Maybe Melicado was,
But
but
we have eye patches.
well,
Maybe we're just clumsy.
lots of people have eye patches
Yeah.
if they hurt their eyes. But yeah, I don't think we're very good pirates if we are.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a lot of judgmental stares no matter what, frankly. I don't know. I haven't met these people.
You could stay with me on the ship if it makes you feel better.
Stay with you. Are you not coming?
In what world would I be welcome in your home?
I mean, it's a good point, but I didn't think you would care.
Of course I care.
I'm really at a loss for words. may have calmed down, but I feel like there's been some tension between us. And I think you know why.
Yes, obviously. Your parents, I don't know them, but it means I don't know anything wrong that they've done. I don't need you wondering what's going to happen to them just because I'm there. I may do things you don't like, but... And frankly, sometimes I think it's like you're wasting your talents or something, but you're a part of this crew. You're important to me.
I'm important to you. Where's this coming from? I've spent time on this ship for so long, and I feel like I've come to understand everyone except for you, Kai. You have those codes, but you're so almost wishy-washy with it. When it's someone you care for, someone on the crew, it's like, oh, I'll be lenient with what happened with Mr. Darrow. But the second it's someone who isn't here, you're just like, oh, they broke the code, they're gone. So much so as to hunt them down. And I've been thinking, you constantly talk about a desire for freedom, but I feel like you're almost shackled by these words that someone else made for you.
Maybe I don't have it in me to try to justify this to you. I don't think that look, you're right about one thing. I would find it incredibly hard to visit the same vengeance upon you that I would upon someone that I didn't know. But I wasn't lenient with Darrow. He just didn't actually break the code. And even if he had, not every transgression deserves death. Who knows? Maybe it'll turn out I'm wrong, and I'll be the one at the other end of the barrel one day.
Well, that's not something I wish for, Kai. As much as I don't understand you, your presence is a welcome one. It's a familiar one. We've been in dangerous situations where you got us out of them too many times for me to wish you away.
along then. I need... Sorry. Is it morning or night right now?
Night.
Night, okay, good.
Yeah, it was the night before.
I'll... I believe that I promise not to harm anyone there without your permission.
I certainly don't expect to run into trouble, but
Well, that's what I'm here for, right?
to get us out.
Yeah.
Plus, if you did harm somebody here, you'd be endangering the crew, right? Don't you have like a list of priorities?
Nope.
Well, there's got to be a hierarchy. What if two rules disagree with each other?
And I guess they're not very well written.
Oh, they're written in order. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, protecting the crew has got to be higher than seeking out vengeance. I would just assume.
Consults the code.
Let me look at the fucking code.
No,
What's
it's
the
not.
secret
No, it's
text?
just not even on there at all.
It's not on there.
There's nothing about protecting the crew.
Absolutely not.
There is not.
You protect the crew's
The only rule
interests.
about the only rule about protecting the crew is Rule 8 about respecting parley, and Rule 7, no snapping of guns in the hold.
You can't fire below decks.
Correct.
Yeah,
What?
there's some sense to that.
Because, like, restaurant ain't just some random island.
What was
Roll
the
society, everyone that cares
What was
to.
it that Cass said?
Sure.
I
In this context.
Strongest navy.
I wouldn't know anything
one
about
of them.
So
Society. 32.
32.
23.
23.
Holy shit.
oh, I'm not
Oh, no,
rolling.
no,
She,
We're
kno-
from
she, kno-
Arlo, we know-
she
we
knows
know
nothing
about
about any of
lore.
this.
20. That's amazing.
I mean, I rolled a 4.
It's so funny that while you were in prison, there was an entire occupation and then civil war between Restaurant and
Yeah, I actually
Arla.
chilled with a bunch of restaurant.
Yeah,
prisoners
probably
of war.
like yeah. You're like, wait, that's our allies. Y'all are occupying us right now. They're like, yeah, it's not going great. It did not go great.
Surprise.
Restaurant originally started off as the Empire of Asteria, which, as you know, is what the world is named. At one point, before the world broke up into pieces, this is the largest empire ever. So much that that's what the world is named after. And as the ages passed and as centuries happened, world cataclysmic events happened, dragons, liches, civil wars. Slowly and slowly it broke apart, but Restaurant remains.
Now it's just the rest of them.
Oh no, he's trying to get within bitch slapping range.
You're lucky the table's over there. It remains one of like a very, very power, and they wouldn't be because they don't have the population for it. It's a smaller island. They are very well trained knights and paladins. They are very deeply tied to the Celestials because Kaleri on High Mountain, the highest, tallest city in the world, is where the Celestials touched down originally. The gods touched down on Asteria originally is in Resserin. So they have very powerful paladins and clerics. The reason nobody really fucks with Resserin is because of the Von Rossens and their sort of technological superiority. They invented airships.
And they had that floaty island.
They have a giant floating island, so they could bring refugees, send airships down, and I mean, you could send some high-trained like Wyvern Knights up there or something, but who else is? You can't invade it. You cannot invade it. So that's the reason they're such a power, essentially.
So yeah, I mean, restaurant's not exactly a place that many people can mess with, and frankly, that's a good thing because it means that our friends in that other ship aren't going to necessarily follow us here easily. It would be an invasion. I mean, it would be a international event. So.
So you rolled a 32 on society. I forgot what the jarring, like the original question was because I had a little bit more to give you.
What do we know about restaurant, or just
I think we're just talking about the military.
like what we know about restaurant?
Oh, I mean all the stuff I've told you. They're ruled by a emperor. Doesn't call himself king. Calls himself emperor. Remos Taran. And then the noble families that follows the standard hierarchy: duke, counts, barons, all that good stuff. Yeah, dukelets, all the way down into smaller sections, which means duke, which is what his father is the second highest thing behind prince. So it's about as powerful as you can get, making it not only one of the most powerful families in the country, but in the world. With a 32, you know a little bit about Lindywynde Loch too. If Restaurant is your typical high fantasy world, then like Lindywynde Loch is the most high fantasy of the high fantasy. I mean, like Arthurian novel style. We got beautiful lakes, mountainsides, rolling forests with like enchanted animals in it, rocks, giant birds that have 80-foot wingspans, dragons. They made their history off of slaying dragons in the area. It's like stepping into sort of like the fairy tale, idyllic land. And it's full of this crystal beautiful water. The loch is like, there's tons of lakes all over, and there's castles built in between each of them. It's gorgeous and rife with just that beautiful, like what I love, stereotypical like kind of fantasy energy to it.
Is there any kind of belief that the reason it looks this way is because that's where the Celestials first came down?
The Celestials didn't come there.
Not there, but like kind of just this area
Like
in
all the
general.
restaurants?
No,
like restaurant?
no, that's
Okay, that's just something else.
no. They just those that are religious have a sense of like moral superiority because they're like, I live in the literal presence of the gods, so
And it's really high up.
yeah, that's really high.
I'm closer to God. Okay.
That's how they act.
Well, you probably don't remember much of it, but Lindywynde Loch is pretty beautiful.
I don't remember any of it.
Yeah. You'll be like seeing it for the first time.
It's exciting.
Well, we should get some rest. We'll probably have to be in our A game for dealing with.
Can you just make sure they know we did not kidnap you? Because they will just kill us. Like, immediately.
Probably.
If they think we did.
Yeah, I'll let them know. I mean, we're walking in there willingly. I would hope they wouldn't make that assumption.
I don't have my memories, but I don't think they kidnapped me. Oh no.
All right. Anything else for that night?
Yeah. Once we disperse,
Mhm.
Kai's gonna go back to the little like what are those things called? The back of the boat, essentially, where we have the dinghy strung up.
Forecastle? No. I don't
aft.
know. Aft castle? That's not a real
Yeah,
thing.
but I'm trying to think of the thing that you use to lift it out of the water. I just can't remember the name of those. But whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The dinghy upper.
The dinghy upper.
And he's going to kind of take off, unstrap the mask from his arm, and he has it laid out on the railing in front of him. And he closes his eyes, staring down at it. Mistress Seraphina, what does it mean to seek vengeance? He doesn't really expect a response because that's not what, prayer is to him. But he's just going to spend some time kind of in prayer and thinking about that and trying to understand what is and is not justified.
Okay. Anyone else?
I will go see Cass again.
Okay. It is very late. Who's knocking?
My apologies, Captain.
Oh, it's Cordelia. Come in,
Um,
darling. And she close the door, please.
yes, and I'll close it. Now that we're in port, it's a little conspicuous what it is that I do, but I can still do it.
I would rather we didn't look like a big ball of black mist as we approached.
Fair. Also about the cruise wages, and she'll kind of pull out her coin pouch and hand over the gold. I've crafted all that I've needed, and I've survived on less before, so.
She waves her hand. We're about to get a king's ransom. Literally. I cannot ask you to pay and garnish your wages because that means you wouldn't be getting your fair wages.
Oh, I've had, well, just while we're in port then, so they've got something.
The world has taken so much from you. Why do you give so freely? I think it's beautiful. But I want to make sure it's what you want.
Yes, like I said, I know what it's like to have nothing, and so it's no different to me. They deserve this. They've been through a lot.
I'll make sure they get what they deserve. That sounded very malicious. I
know you meant well.
I meant they're going to be paid.
I'll take it.
Like you come back and she's just like, like eating the whole crew.
Oh, that's distribution.
I'm going to be spending a lot of time on the ship, so maybe you could report to me the things that Ernie doesn't want to tell me.
What he doesn't.
She first motions to herself and she says, I think Ernie will make a full report. I just don't think it's to me.
Right. Are you asking me to?
I'm just asking you to answer my questions when I have them, dear.
Okay. Right.
I can't leave the ship. Not. She just kind of motions to herself.
Right.
It's way too sunny.
Is it sunny here?
No, it's a lot cloudy. I meant because I'm damp here, but I was trying to.
Oh. I was wondering.
It rains almost every day, in fact.
So not too dissimilar from.
No.
Well. Okay.
Thank you anyway.
Yes. Right.
Go get some rest
Will do.
and start taking care of yourself first. In fact, when you're ashore, as captain, I order you to do something fun for yourself. Captain's order. Don't invite anyone else. Don't pay their way. You do something that just you want. Something entirely selfish. Or I will find out.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
Pico says, gamble!
Pico, no.
Pico, yes.
I'll keep that in mind. Maybe I'll find a little bakery or something. All right. Thank you. And she will leave the coin purse and go. It's got 80 gold in it.
She's not letting you leave that there.
She reverse pickpockets you.
She's like, Cordelia, darling, perhaps you didn't hear me. You left your money here.
Yes, ma'am. I'll take it back.
All right, anyone else?
Wesley's just gonna like not stay up like the whole night, but like until he gets tired, he's just gonna like review the genealogy book that he has.
Okay. A lot of names
Yeah.
that make Wesley go, I don't know how to pronounce that.
I don't think
There's A's and N's and G's in strange places, and you're like, this cannot be right.
my tongue cannot form these sounds.
You start reading your mom's name to practice it, and you just
Lathnade.
yeah, you're like Blathnade, and you're like that's surely what my mom is. I can't wait to see my mom, Blathnade. Actually, hang on, let's see if anyone hears that. Nope, that's your mom's name.
But like while he's doing it, he's like in his like sleeping gear or whatever. So he's got like some of his gear on like near him, and like as he's like reviewing the book and like going through it, he keeps glancing at the lily that sits on top like the pile of his things, like as he's going through it.
Anything else?
Ernie is in his room and he has the standard port of call forged documents. And he is painstakingly covering over Melicado the Magnificent as the captain and adding Cassiopeia the her name
name.
as well, and just trying to get it as well done as possible.
Is that
It's a good
thief
thing
tools
they're
or
both
deception for you?
I honestly don't know.
I actually have to look that up.
I think it's
Like,
deception
fo-
for
forged
Pretty sure
document.
forgery is deception, yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's funny. It's like Melicado the Magnificent has enough characters, so she
Yeah, I know,
her
right?
name.
Create forgery. Usually over the course of a day or a week, you've had enough time. Okay, I roll a secret check to see if you did it good enough. What's your society skill? It's actually society, not
Society is plus 13. I'm an expert in society.
okay.
Natural one.
Probably. Let's hope we don't have to present those
I can see it from
papers.
here.
Can you?
That would be good.
Okay.
Maybe you should let someone review these before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Run by the captain.
They look great. All right.
Man, I'm
I
good
do
at my
have
job.
a quick question.
Yes, I love questions.
I meant to ask it
Mm-hmm.
when I first cast Private Sanctum.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of nagging hum in the back of her head, has she been able to hear it these past 2 weeks? Ever since she cast it?
Mm-hmm.
When will it be fading? You've been casting it in the morning. It's 24 hours, so
Yeah.
it won't fade until next morning.
Yeah, basically
Yeah.
right before we
Mhm.
arrive.
All right.
Because she said we don't want to approach as a big wall of darkness.
Yeah.
Okay. So, then morning comes, unless there's anything I didn't want to skip over anyone. You pull into an actual port. And this is strange because you didn't think there would be any ports, but you stopped at Osselin and you stopped at Luthrum. So there have been 2 ports there, but this is true. You are actually directed in. You see guard watchtowers, a beautiful lighthouse on this jagged cliff that spirals miles down, little villages on the hillside. The castle town is bustling and spills out over and through the castle. So it basically goes out into the harbor and grows into this dock, and then there's a huge, think like classic fantasy gate gating the harbor town into the main city, into the castle, and then the rest of the city builds out into the mountainside, and then there's just a gorgeous lake you can see. Time for booze and booba. That's what Pico says. Someone knows how to play tabletop role-playing games.
Like we're all admiring the view. I'm like, I feel so small, and I like look at Ernie's like, is this what it's like all the time?
Yeah.
That's wrong.
You get used to it.
So,
The trick's to stand on stools.
what you'll see is that the cities for you've been in big cities before, you know, like it's disgusting. It's a big city. It's a harbor town. Not immaculately clean. I'm not saying the streets are like paved, like well they're paved, but like they're not like picked clean. But like very low pollution, very low litter. People seem to be in very amicable moods. The nature seems to be very well preserved here. You can see apple trees growing everywhere, and like citizens are just going and like plucking apples off, like different varieties and stuff like that. You see little nature conservatoriums, like parks and stuff like that, all around. It seems like there's like little wild like preservation spots everywhere, and there's armed guards. The colors of Lindywynde Loch are a verdant, like sage green and amber, so that's like green and orange kind of mix. And the house tabard, as you can see on the guards, is an apple tree with a dragon wound around it, like sleeping at the base of the tree. Everyone here, blondish, brown, sort of like reddish hair. No, I don't want this song. Go back to the other one. And there is hustle and bustle like you wouldn't believe. In fact, like Ernie, as like the person that's probably gonna have to like talk to the dockmaster and stuff, you're like, man, I haven't had to like last time you talked to Azalea, and she's below decks right now. Like an actual harbor with an actual harbor master, registration, actual streets.
Pull my hat down on my blue hair.
Kai, you've never seen this many living beings in your entire life. It is the size of maybe every island of the tribes you know combined times 4. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, this is a city.
Brooks steps above deck wearing the victory plate. I feel like this might be more presentable.
Oh, you polished it.
I did. I know the kinds of people we're going to be talking to. I think they more feel at ease if someone's wearing something like this.
Why is there a turtle on it?
I didn't kill the turtle.
Someone get him out of here. All right.
She just kind of takes her apron off and tucks it in her bag to kind of clean her skirt a little. Didn't really think about that.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be... It's a port town. I'm sure there's going to be shops that we could buy things. If we wanted to not look so piratey.
Mr. Darrow calls from the helm. He says, "This is Castle Arling, and they just call it Castle Town. So just to call it Arling wouldn't be incorrect, or Arling Castle Town. They call the harbor Arling Harbor, so they just call it the Harbor. Easy to remember. It's Easton's last name."
Good. That's what it says on the book. Like, tap it as I've like just been carrying it all morning. Are y'all ready?
Well, I mean, let's get the all clear from the dockmaster.
The dockmaster's waving in the next, 30 minutes or so. The ship is docked, anchored.
While we're pulling into port, I since we're not under the effects of that spell anymore, I take a peek at the sheet of paper that I wrote on.
Your ink is still there. It's completely inert.
Uh-oh.
There's a dockmaster, his assistant, and then you see 2 guards with halberds and the Lindywynde Loch tabard over them. The sort of old style helmet that curves up with a point of there, beards, and they're just standing there. And he says, "And who do I have the pleasure of addressing today?"
Oh, I got this. I jump down onto the dock. I open the book to a page I have, and I
Next to
Fuck
your
me.
I'm gonna need directions to the castle.
Get all the guards. All the guards. And you can see very quickly,
I wasn't planning to lead with that.
there's a
I don't think we had a
contingent.
choice.
You nat one of the forgeries, by the way.
Yeah, well.
So it doesn't fucking matter because.
I shoved the papers back in my pocket.
Yeah. So immediately guards start swarming and people are like, "There's a thing," and then you hear him very loudly, false alarm, let's get these an escort, please." there may be assassins in the crowd. I'm Mr. Smith. Thank you, Big Jolly, for the name Redemption from our Name and NPC Redeem.
That name gives me comfort.
It is so wonderful to hear you say that, Lord Arling. Your father is waiting for you. Are these your companions?
Yeah, they might look a little rough around the edges, but they're good folk.
Of course. Please, they have my full vote of confidence. Quickly. And please, when you see your parents, let them know Mr. Smith got you safely to the castle.
Gotta get to the castle first.
God's bless. And you are then escorted through the street by a contingent of 12 guards, unless you guys want to. Yeah, I mean, you guys, they're around Easton. So like, does anyone want to like sneak out or anything like that, or are y'all just sticking with the group?
I'm sticking.
So, as we start approaching the castle, realizing that this is happening, is everyone sticking with the group?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's
Yeah.
what you're supposed to do if you go in.
She looks real stiff and real
All
uncomfortable,
right,
but
I start
yeah.
relaying to them the appropriate like greetings and like ways to bow and all of the sort of appropriate manners used when talking with nobility. I have the courtly graces feat and know all of these things.
Wonderful, and he relays them perfectly to all of you.
Also, in place of like the little leaf that holds my cloak together, it's that statuette is affixed to my armor today.
Okay, very cool. Castle Arling is, just think of like the most beautiful, like it almost looks like it's built for aesthetics rather than to withstand a siege. It does have 2 walls and then the castle tower inside. But the castle just rises. Classic 4 towers with the battlements, the tabards like rolling down, but vines and apple trees growing all along the sides. Like it almost looked like half nature, half castle. And you can actually see there's like one big half of the castle that looks like it's purposely left scratched and destroyed and rolled up, and like moss and vines have begun to grow into it and flowers. Anyone that wants to roll society real quick?
I know so much about Redstone.
2.
You can have fortune because it's in your book.
Oh yeah, that's right. It is in my book.
31.
Jesus.
I really do.
So
Yeah.
25.
a 25, 31, around that area.
Or 19 and 18.
It's a sign of a massive dragon attack when the dragon did attack the castle, but they left it there as a reminder that wounds heal and things regrow.
I'm glad we left Ismet on the ship.
Ismet, you remember he's like, I'm not going to this fucking place.
We told him to protect quickly.
It's the full thing. Once you get there, the castle guards take over from the town guards. They quickly like cover you up. They start escorting you immediately. You see people running and like whispering and talking and going, and you're getting ready for all the courtly graces. You're like, okay, they're gonna take us into the chamber room. Before you make it into the castle proper, the gate's still raising. You hear, "That's my boy! That's my boy!" And you see a mountain of a man. I'm talking me if I was 6 inches taller and like pure muscle, which you recognize as Duke Malcolm Arling. He has a massive beard and wild, like Jesus hair, just like flying back. Normally maybe tied back, but right now he's in a dressing robe and like boots that he's hastily pulled on.
All right, so we might be going off script.
And he is full on barbarian sprinting. Roll a fortitude save.
I was gonna say whenever he like catch him like lift him.
Oh, you can try. You can try.
I can see the resemblance.
I mean, what is it, athletics. I'll use fortune because I don't know how much longer it can go. 50 to 32.
You airplane your dad.
It's like Dirty Dancing.
Yeah. You raise this
Nobody puts Malcolm in the corner.
6'7", broad-shouldered barbarian of a king into the air. Yeah! And he lets out this like yawp, and he grabs you and hugs you, and eventually you're both on the ground. And he is crying. He does not care who's watching. He doesn't care about ceremony. He is weeping. Easton, you're home. Look, oh my God, look at you! And he punches you in the arm. That's my sweet boy. And he like rubs your head. My God, you've let your hair get long, and look at those. He like taps your shoulder again. Those muscles, taking after your old man.
There's no chance you've heard from the red-tailed fish.
The red-tailed fish.
Yes, we found them out at sea. If they had made it back, they would let you know that I'm currently suffering from amnesia. They were the ones who revealed to me. And I pulled out the book.
He starts laughing. I knew that when we found you, you would play a prank like this. Easton! It's not the...
No.
Easton. Amnesia.
Yes, I don't have that long of a memory. It leads back. I was walking down a road and met up with a band of travelers, and then had to leave them and met a different band of travelers until it was revealed to me where home is.
He hoists himself up and he holds out a hand to you. Amnesia or not, you're my son. The spitting image of House Arling, and I'm glad to have you back. Whether the wizard gets your memories back or not, I don't give a damn. Because my family is whole again. Your mother, gods.
There was a smith who wanted credit for directing us safely to the castle.
In the harbor,
Yes.
he turns and whispers something to someone, and they roll their eyes and they go down. You'll have to show me to all your friends, but I, Malcolm Arling, do humbly ask your pardon, because my boy needs to see his mother.
Yes.
Lady Blanage, she is...
There's he doesn't hear
She is... She's not well.
I've had... Yes.
I need to take you to see her immediately.
Yes. You'll excuse me a moment.
And for the rest of you, comfort, food, feast, whatever you desire. Please, follow my guards to the Grand Hall. I must see, and he takes two guards with him. I must see my boy to his mother.
I'll see you soon.
All right, Easton, you know where to find us.
Don't have too much fun.
So we're sticking. Okay.
You're taken up a long, winding tower, like a princess tower in a fairy tale. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 flights of stairs, hanging ivy now dried and dying, potted plants struggling to stay alive despite the sunlight in the open stained glass windows. You can see scattered food marks and crushed plates of things people have stepped over. You see piles of glasses, plates, moldy food with flies. Malcolm hangs his head. This is going to fix everything. You're home. There's a door, not locked, you know, but he gently... My love. We found him. He opens up the door and he puts a hand on your shoulder. This needs to be between the two of you. And he steps back.
I'll step into the room.
And he closes the door. Beautiful room, though there's layers of dust on everything, more uneaten food and overturned glasses. You can see a scattered of clothes just rotten in a pile where clearly she hasn't been changing. She's in a sort of dressing gown in a bed. The cover's kind of half pulled over. Bed sores almost visible, hair in like a tangled mess. Young, like late 40s woman. She's staring out the window at the harbor. You can see
I was gonna say I don't say anything, but I approach her, and then I don't know if she acknowledges me, but I'll like sit next to her and finally say, "Mother."
She turns back and looks at you. Her eyes are deeper than the locks, this deep gray, and they're wet, and you can see this like incredible loss within them.
When she turns to me, I'll take her hand, and as I'm talking, I'll like raise it to my face and like put a hand on like her hand on my cheek. I'll be like, "I have had visions of you and your suffering, but I am here. I am no vision."
She smiles and tears start rolling through her face. And she runs her hand through your hair and very gently just holds the back of your neck. She pulls you in for a hug. Oh. Sweet. Sweet boy. Who are you?
What do you mean?
She keeps rubbing your hair and she like takes your hand. Someone held you. Someone out there. They gave their whole life for you. Someone sang songs and someone wept when you were sick and scolded you when you scraped your knee. Someone out there is hurting like I'm hurting. Someone misses you so dearly.
Is that not you?
I can see you. You're such a brave and beautiful boy. You have Easton's smile and you have his loving heart. You even have his eyes and his... She messes with the hair. His hair. But you're not mine. You're not him.
Who am I?
She shakes her head. Just a lost, beautiful baby boy. And I'm so glad you came to see me. And I pray that you find who you're looking for. And I hope that one day I can too. Because someone out there is hurting because they're missing you. And I would not wish this upon anyone else.
I don't understand. Do you believe me some fake, some imitation?
You-
Someone trying to trick you out of your misery?
I didn't say that.
I don't understand.
I don't either. You have his face, you have his eyes, you have his smile. You are not Edmund Easton Arling. You are not my boy.
At this point, like I've like kind of tracked it and started to stand up. I'm like, is this part of the sickness? Have you? You don't seem like a liar. And
So-
he just like sits there like unable to think of anything else.
Someone loves you, lost boy. Please go find them.
I wish you well. And like he sort of like does like a awkward like courtly bow and like kind of like backs out of the room silently and like closes the door gently and like puts his like head on it.
Easton, what's the problem? I heard raised voices.
She does not believe it's me. She says,
Planet! Planet!
let her rest. She's,
Damn it, woman! We found him!
this is not the way to solve. Perhaps it is my amnesia, my loss of memory. Like perhaps she does not see the recognition.
Yeah. Perhaps that. And there's like a spark, a sort of fire in Malcolm's eyes.
But do not blame her.
No, I was wrong to speak in anger. We'll have the court wizard fix your mind, and then she'll remember. She'll remember. She has to.
Right.
Come on, let's meet your friends. Come on. And he leads you down that winding staircase, stepping.
This time, instead of like on the way up, it was like, oh wow, and then like a castle tower, like sort of that like energy and like the expectation, but it's much more. You know, like Wesley just says nothing, just kind of head down.
In her room, Blanid Arling stares out of a window, tears rolling down her cheeks, her eyes welling up. Gods above, I prithee, please let that boy find what he's looking for. Please let him find home. And bring my baby back to me. Down in the hall, you are supping on mead and feasting on roasted meats, and the air is joyous. You can see, like, you're meeting with the head huntsman. You're meeting with the court wizard. You're seeing with all of these different people that are coming in and out at different times, just seeing if they can find Easton. And when they find out that they can't, they kind of back up a little bit. But eventually, it's just you, guards and servants, and you see Malcolm coming down, and he's just like almost like a cartoon. You can see like the shadow on his eyes as it's downcast.
And then
Walking.
Wesley walks behind him. He has the exact same sort of like dour expression.
Honored guests, please forgive me for not being able to learn your names at this moment. I need to fetch my court wizard. Please feast and feel free. Castle Arling is open to you. And you see him walk over, and everyone roll a perception check. Looking for a 25. Anyone above 25?
24.
29.
Okay. As a group, let's go ahead and say you passed. He whispers. He whispers to a guard. He says, "No one leaves this fucking room." And then he goes. And you can see as he leaves, they're not like moving up on you guys. Like 2 more guards come in, and they're just standing at each of the exits, just like guards do.
They didn't disarm us or anything as well.
Nope.
Came in,
No.
right?
No. You still have all your weapons and stuff like that. There was not. They usually would, but they didn't have time for decorum because Malcolm was like, "That's my boy."
So I kind of like meander over, and I'll like kind of settle up next to Cordelia, and like as I'm like meagerly like just for the show of like making a plate or something, like she didn't know who I was.
What do you mean?
She said I'm not Easton.
Maybe it's because right now you're Wesley.
That's why he's fetching the wizard.
Okay.
nasty knot in my stomach. This man, Malcolm, he cares for his wife. He wants to see her well. I fear what happens if we fail to assist her.
She'll kind of glance at the guards around the room. She's been kind of keeping her head on a bit of a swivel. She hasn't really eaten anything. It's very obvious that she's uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Are there, like, what's the layout of the room?
A grand hall. So there's like 4 different exits, like 6 different exits. Let's say 4 on either side, left, right, that leads to the same room, and then 1 that's like the other area, like a chamber room that leads to more rooms, and then a deeper into the castle room, essentially.
Alright. And are there, like, windows and such?
No, because you're in the center of the castle, so no windows, but there's like lots of portraits and big old like vases and art and things like that on display, and like places for the servants to come in and out, essentially.
Do you think, and I mean, no offense, because he's your father, do you think that they would keep us here?
If he thinks we're tricking him.
There was a flash of temper on the tower. I feel a very thin thread is restraining him. And if he believes we are some sort of trick, what if she's right? Cordelia, I have been awed by this place, but none of it. I thought with the vision I had of Mother, I was remembering. I thought this would feel like home. Nothing has. But one thing does. And like, I hold the flower. This has always reminded me of home.
That flower?
Yes. It's the only thing I had on me. And I was taken in.
Do I recognize the flower?
It's a lily.
It's a lily.
Mm-hmm. Common. It's like it's magical. It's the one that you get your petals
Yeah,
from, right?
It's my real.
It's magical, but it's
It's
just
just kind of like a common lily.
it's a lily. Roll nature. You have to roll nature.
Okay.
Like it's definitely a lily.
That's really good, but I feel like this is. If I can get higher. Okay, no.
It's not high. It's a common, so it's
19.
not. Oh, 19? Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, it's not a magical, like that magical artifact is made from the flower. The flower is just a Lindywynde lily. It's not like crazy. They're common anywhere there's lily pads or swamps or frogs or like bugs and stuff like that. Like that's where they are on the edges of the locks and the forest and stuff like that. They're very common.
Okay. I mean, it is Lindywynde lily. But I mean, if
It's just, I don't think I noticed it when we were at sea. Or maybe it's the fear I have of him believing we're a trick. But I think it's the walls. They are not comforting. They do not feel like home. He sort of like looks down at the plate. He's barely put like a grape or two on.
Looking closer at the lily as he's holding it up, is there any decoration on it? Any
No, it's just pinned to his like chest, and the flower. I mean, it must be because of the magical nature or something. The flower never wilts, but he pulls off like the leaves as they grow in as the medicine.
Which I've seen you do, and you've given me one.
It's just looks like a normal flower.
She'll kind of reach her hand to take his and give it a gentle squeeze. We'll figure this out.
Sensing the energy of the room kind of change, Ernie, he keeps his dagger on his left hip. He's going to sit in a recliner up against that, take his hat off, and put it in his lap, and then underneath the hat, shift his good dagger from his hip belt, like put his sheath up into a hidden spot up his sleeve, and purposely
Roll
hide
thievery. I'm gonna say you have fortune because of that great role play in that description. I love that.
28.
28. Okay. I can roll a secret check to see if they see that.
She said that she didn't recognize you.
She said so many things reminded her of Easton. She said I was someone else's lost child. And she believed it when I looked at her eyes, the sadness. If either her mind has deteriorated where she believes this, or she is right.
Like you were switched with another child that looks like you? Or some other magical tampering?
I can't say. Perhaps this wizard will reveal.
Unless it's always been this way.
What do you mean?
Wow, I don't know if this is right. You kind of like, what if you got amnesia, not because you forgot, but what if this wizard has been putting memories in you? So that you believe that
The wizard here.
a wizard, there's magic to do so.
I don't know. Has someone been playing with my memories?
I don't know. It's just a theory. I don't know if that's true, but
Have we been around anyone who could do this? When I was traveling with Notice and Trabella and the like, there were no magicians, no wizards.
well,
And everything, unless they are false, was clear up until this day.
well, between now and then, but when did you get your amnesia? Do you remember that?
About how long has it been?
I think you told me like a year and a half.
It's been like roughly like a year and a half.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't want to give like a canonical incorrect timeline, but
Yeah.
I think we established like a year and a half
Yeah.
when we talked to the red-tailed fish.
Mm-hmm.
It's not been a long time. Long enough that Lady Arling could be barely eating and still survive, essentially.
Yeah, like she's wasting away, but not like
Dead.
dead.
It would seem strange that if she doesn't believe you to be her Easton, but Easton disappeared around, I guess, the same time you presumably did as well. So it seems weird that she would claim that you're not the one. But then, did you mention that she said that like you belong to someone else?
Yes, I did say that. She said I was someone else's lost child.
I mean, it almost sounds to me like the hags, that way they
The
treat
door
children.
slams straight open.
As it's slamming, Kai makes he starts rushing and basically finishes his and then picks up a napkin and he's wiping his thing. And as he does that, He puts a single gold piece into his mouth.
Okay. Malcolm comes in and he's got a big fake smile on his. Don't you worry. Easton, come here for a moment. Come here.
Like
Come here,
pushes back
son.
Cordelia as he like slowly turns.
He's got the back of your
Yeah,
neck. He's like,
I'll before I let go of his hand, I'll cast guidance on him.
Malcolm looks at the court wizard. He snaps and he points at Easton, and he says, "Don't worry, son. We're gonna fix everything. Everything is gonna be okay right here.
Certainly hope so.
Shh, lay down and let me do my work." The wizard waves his hand over your head, and you can see this mist of blue and white begin to swirl.
Can I determine what he's
Yeah,
That's
I
what I
was
wanted
about
to
to
do.
say.
It's some form of divination magic. He's not going to harm Easton. This is, in fact, a divination, a memory sort of spell. Something to look inside of a mind, not to alter anything within it. I think I'm just going to give you guys that. So,
Because we're all just like,
Yeah.
what are you
yeah.
casting on?
Fireball!
Does he look familiar at all?
I'm
No.
about to impending doom your ass.
He swirls it over, and the mist goes into his nose and into his eyeballs. My lord, the mind is contending with me. There are blocks. Then get past them. Yes, my lord. And he doubles the spell, and you can see his hands now like twitching, and you can see like bits of them begin to bleed as the spell begins to consume parts of it. And you are in agony. All you see is murky water, and you see this deep plunging coldness, algae, roots, and a small house on a hill as you burst forth, and you see the wizard on the ground, his hands smoking blue. They are completely fried, and he looks up at Malcolm. My lord, this will not be as easy as we thought. His mind, it's the witch, Cyrene. And that's where we're going to go ahead and end
I knew it.
our session for today. Thank you, everyone that was here for our episode of Windfall. Reminder that there's no episode next week. I hope that you enjoyed this one. Thank you, everyone that was here. The lurkers, the people that are stopping by, the people that are here the whole time. Be sure to check out the VODs on YouTube. Check out those videos and catch up on the story as we start this new arc that's going to be a little bit more directed towards the backgrounds of our characters. Great starting off point. And we'll see you next time in Lindywynde Loch. Bye, y'all.
Okay, Roger. Bye.